Hello guys, my name is Mitch Romzhansky. Angular versus React. What is better? I'm pretty sure that each of you was looking for the answer. And there are plenty of different articles in internet where you can read that React has smaller bundle size, React uses virtual DOM when Angular uses real DOM. However, since version 9, Angular utilizes the incremental DOM, which has also some advantages over the virtual DOM, as example the smaller memory footprint, but it's another story. But what does it bring for me as for developer? I mean that in my daily work, when I start with the React application after the Angular, I don't think that, oh my god, it's so cool that my project uses virtual DOM or that my bundle size 100 kilobytes less. No, rather I say, what the fuck, where is my services? How to inject dependencies in React, or if you come from React, you may think what the hell is input and output or things like that. So in this and next videos, I want to show you side by side how some specific things in Angular were implemented in React and vice versa. I want to build some bridge for developers who, for whatever reason, have to work with Angular project, being React developer, and the same for Angular devs. And then later on, you will be able on your own to judge which framework or library is better. In this video, I want to start with creation of applications, and we'll have a look at the tools which will allow us to achieve this. So let's get started. Okay guys, let's get started, and Angular devs, this section is for you. So, how we create in Angular the new application? We are using ng CLI, right? ng-new, and let's go. React has the similar library called create React app, which you can find on the website createreactapp.dev. The link I will leave in description. And here is the official page of this library. If you click get started, we are being navigated to the quick start tutorial, which shows how you can up and running this very quick. And if we scroll a little bit down, we will find this command npx create react app and my app. This command will create a new application for you. So let's copy this part and go to our terminal, and here I will create the new application and I will call it ng react example. And if I hit enter button right now, it will create the React application which uses the JS. But I want to also show you another feature of this Create React app, and this is you can define the template. So if you use this parameter -- template, and then after this you can provide any template for your application. As example, I will be using template TypeScript, which is create application which already configured to work with a TypeScript, but there are a lot of another templates which you can find somewhere in the Google. If you try to search like create React app templates, let's say Redux, and you can grab, I will zoom it a little bit for you. So you can provide this Redux TypeScript instead of TypeScript like I have right now. So something like this, Redux TypeScript, and it will create the project with already set up TypeScript for you and already set up Redux, some dummy store and things like that. But as I said before, I will be using the template TypeScript. And when I hit enter, it will start to create application for me. It will take some time, so I will get back to you soon once the installation will be done. Okay, project was successfully created, so we can navigate to our ng React example and open with the VS Code. Here we go, and let's have a look on the file structure. So we have two folders, public, source. If we expand public, we see this is the place where you store your static files, images, graphics, and so on. Inside the source folder, you will see there is our components here inside, like app.tsx, and here was generated some template by this great React app, and this is the folder where we will be mostly working. After this, we can go to our, as example, tsconfig file. So that's the place where you can configure your TypeScript. And there above a little bit, there is the package.json, and let's have a look which options provides out of the box this create a React app. So we see the 4 scripts which were created. So React script starts, it means it's the same like ngserve in Angular, and it will just create the local server and will be serving your application. Then build, you can create you can build your application, and there is the test, which obviously run tests, and eject. This is if you need some very specific build setup, you can eject this project, and it means that all configurations will be added to your folder structure, and you can edit it and change it as you want. But keep in mind that this is the one-way operation. Once you did it, you cannot go back. So be careful with this thing. And I would say this is pretty much it. Out of the box, Create React app brings not so much, features. And this is the good example of actually single responsibility principle. Yeah. So this functionality completely corresponds its name, Create React app. It just creates React app and nothing more. And if we want to extend this, we have to use some third-party libraries, and some of them I will show you. And the first library I would consider, this is the generation of the components. Yeah, in GCLI we have ngGenerate, which creates the components, directives, and so on, so on. React doesn't have this out of the box. You have to use external library. So let's go to the Google and try to find generate React CLI library. Here it is. So you can see not super popular, but it grows. However, this library allows you to do the same thing which ngCLI does, so it generates components for you. Let's maybe try it out. So they say that we have to create the JSON config. Let's do it right now. I will create the file and we copy all this thing here. So it's something similar what we do in angular.json file, right? And here I will say that true to use TypeScript, and yeah, we have to run this npx generate CLI component box. So let's create this. I will open the terminal and let's try it out. Great, we can see that something was generated. Let's go to the components and have a look what we have. So we have the CSS files, box.tsx, and also test for this file. Let's open this. Yeah, and we see that was created the functional component called box, which is ready for use, but we have to modify it a little bit to make it more smarter, right? And there was some empty styles, so this is working fine. Yeah, you can see there is some configurations. You can change and adjust to your project. Also, I will zoom it. Let's have a look which options it provides. So you can define, you can see path. There's also with lazy, with story. It's probably for story. Yes, for storybook, with style. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I would say that's not so powerful like Angular ones, but still that's good to have. I don't know how many React developers are using this, but Angular developers should like this functionality, because we really got used to our NGCLI. I personally use as much as possible this generated these schematics in Angular. It's called schematics. It really makes your work way more faster. Good. This is the first thing I wanted to mention, and the second thing is bundle analyzer. And in order to do this, you have to first of all install the source map explorer library. I will do it right now. And once this library installed, I have to go to my package.json file. And here I need to add additionally one script. I will call it analyze. And what does this script is it builds first of all the application, and then it runs the source map explorer against all JavaScript files in our bundle. And this folder will be created by this command build. So it will create the build. In Angular it's called dist. And inside you will find all these generated files. So let's try to run this our analyze script. I will run it like this, and let's see what will happen. Once it's done, you will be redirected to a generated page, which shows you actually your dependency graph and the bundle sizes of your libraries and so on. So you can see which part of your application takes, I don't know, which percentage of your whole bundle. For example, React takes only almost 5% of whole my bundle and so on. But for now, we have no dependencies, so that's pretty empty. But when you have a lot of another dependencies, it might be very, very useful. Of course, this is just simple example, and this library a little bit more powerful. You can find it in npm registry, and here is some documentation, more detailed documentation, where you can find some additional options and set up more advanced, I don't know, flow. So yeah, it worth to have a look on it. And now let's quickly have a look at tests in React, how to run them, how to show the test coverage, and and we will be finishing with Create React App for today. So you can see that in package.json we have this test script. You can run it like yarn and then test, and it will run your test. But if you want to also include the coverage, you can provide the next properties, this dash and then dash coverage. And if you run the test, you will see the report. So let's have a look. Okay, we have some failed tests already. Okay, so it's something with this box tests. But okay, I will have a look later on this. But the thing what I wanted to show you, this is this table. So it shows in percentage what the coverage in your case. In our case, it's 100%, which is perfect. Sorry guys, I just looked at my checklist and I realized that I forgot to mention about another small but quite important thing, and this is about configuration of the start and build commands. So let's imagine that we want to run our application on different port during the development, right? We don't want to use default one 3000, we want to use 3001. So how we can do this? Angular React uses environment variables for this purpose. So if we create a new file and call it .env, and inside we can define that port as example will be 3001. We want to override default one. And now if I run my application in development mode, it should open application on the localhost 3001. And now we can see that our application is being run on the 3001 port. And this is not only one option. You can go to create React documentation. Where is this? And there is the section advanced usage and advanced configuration. And here you can find the table with the different variables and description what you can configure with this or that variable. So I would say this is everything what I would like to show you regarding this Create React app. And now let's jump to Angular CLI and let's have a look which functionality provides this library. Here is the official documentation. Here you can see the steps you have to perform in order to install our ngCLI. I have installed it already, so I will skip it. So you have to just run this command and install it globally. After this, you will be able to do something like this, ng ---- version, and you will see something similar to what I have. And it means that your Angular CLI was installed correctly. Then we have to create a new project, and I will go one level up or down, depends how you count. And in order to create a new application with ngCLI, you have to run ng new, and then you can give the name to your application. I will call it Angular app. And then you can specify some, I don't know, properties like styles, and you can define CSS or less, depends what you prefer. But also you can run it as it is, and ngCLI quite interactive. It will be asking a few questions about if I want to have routing as example. I don't want to have routing, and I can choose also the CSS preprocessor, but in my case I want to use just pure CSS. Okay, application is being created and it will take some time, and once it's done I will get back to you. Alright, our application was created successfully, so let's navigate to our application, or it would be better most probably if I add this application to this workspace, right? So I can select files, I believe it's here, add folder to workspace, exactly. And I will choose my Angular app and add it here. So I will have these two projects next to each other. Then I have to open the terminal for my Angular app to be able to run it in context of this folder, not our React app. So let's have a look at our Angular application. Let's see the folder structure, and all our components are living under the app folder. So here you can see these three files. This is actually our component. So That's how it looks like, and you can see that we have the references to our template and reference to our styles. More in details, I will explain the difference between React and Angular components in next videos, but for this section, I just want to show you how you can generate new components with Angular CLI. And in order to do this, we have to run in our console just ng generate, or if you want to keep it shorter, you just leave just g, and then you can say what you want to generate. In our case, it's component. Or also for a shorter version, you can leave it like it is, just C, and then just let's give some name to this component. I will name it demo. And I hit enter, and let's see what ngCLI will generate for us. So you can see that there was generated 4 files, and let's have a look on them. So this is our component, this is our template, CSS file, correct? And there also was created the spec file. This is in Angular, this is the test file. So here all unit tests are going to live. You can also configure your generated components the same like we did it for React for that library I showed to you. And in Angular, you can do this inside this Angular JSON file, and you can find these schematics. Yeah, these things, by the way, called schematics. And inside, you can define that as example for component. When I generate the component with ngCLI, I want to have as example change detection strategy, which set to on push by default, right? So I can save it like this, and then if I generate another component, demo on push, I will name it like this. And if I generate this new component, we will see that inside this DS file, we have change detection strategy on push. And if we compare with the first one, demo, we see that here change detection strategy is set to default. Or actually it was not set, but by default it's default one. Yeah. So that's, I think, somehow clear. And now let's jump to tests. So in order to perform tests in Angular, you have to run yarn tests. So that's same thing like for React. And if we run it, we will run our karma, because Angular goes with the Jasmine and Karma by default, but you can also change it to the chest if you want to. All right, we can see that we have 5 unit tests which succeed, but what about code coverage? So about code coverage, you just have to run it with this option coverage, and likewise React, it will generate for you the additional folder here with the HTML file, which you can, oops, sorry, it's not coverage, yeah, I forgot, it's a code coverage, sorry, one more time. Now if we run it, besides the generated table with the code coverage, it will also generate the additional folder coverage, blah blah blah, and there we have this also index file. And if we open this in the browser, we will see the similar thing which we saw for Angular, for React app, sorry. So here is our table, which shows what is covered, what is not, and you can see also which exactly line was covered. Yeah, same thing as for React. So let's go back, and now we know how to deal with tests in Angular. And now let's talk about production build, and there is some difference. So when we were doing the production build with the React, we run just yarn build. For Angular, it's not enough. Actually, you have to explicitly specify. And if we run this command with this option, then we will get the ready for production build. If you want to also analyze your bundle like we did in React application, you can add additionally this option stats.json, and if you run it like it is, in the bundle you will get the stats.json file, which you can use then, which will contain whole necessary information, and we will be using some additional library which allows us to visualize this everything. And this library is called Webpack Bundle Analyzer, so let's add it right now. And until it's installing, we can see inside the dist, we see this stats.json, the file which I told you before, and how we can run this analyzer. We can create a script, so somewhere here I created a script which runs this Webpack Bundle Analyzer, and here is the path to our stats.json, so to this file. And my library was successfully installed, so I have everything in order to run my analyzer for our Angular bundle. So I will run yarn analyze and let's see what will happen. So this is what we can see. Actually, it shows not too much because I think we do it for our production build. We have to run just a regular one, so just without prod. And now if I run yarn analyze again, yeah, we see now different modules, components, ReactJs, what is included into the bundle. It allows us to do detailed analyzing, reduce our bundle size, which is really important for Angular. Also, like the Create React app, Angular CLI also has some settings. And as example, if you want to run your application in dev mode, you can use serve option. So this is our ng serve, and it runs application on the port 4200, but you can override this. So likewise, we did it with environment variables. In Angular, you have to provide these options like this. So in this case, we override the port, and if we run it as it is, our application will be served on this port which we defined right here. If we go to documentation for our ng CLI, you can see all this operation here in the left sidebar, and if you open any of them, you will see a lot of additional options you can use. And in our case, let's go to ng-serve, and yeah, you can see that there are a lot of options, and one of them, this -- port, which we just recently used. So our application up and running. Let's go and check. Great. We see that our Angular application working perfectly, and I think That's it. Alright guys, that was it for today. Please let me know if you are interested in this topic and should I invest more time in such videos like Angular versus React, where I would show you differences between these two frameworks. So welcome to our comment section and leave your honest feedback. I really appreciate it, and subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing, and I wish you a productive week. Take care and see you in the future.